Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Larry.
Welcome to MANOPOD,
A podcast dedicated to men over 50.
brought to you by manopause.com.
Hi, I'm Larry, and this is Mike. Welcome to our MANOPOD. Today, we're talking to producers Wendy and Alan Riche, producers of Tarzan, Mouse Hunt, Starsky and Hutch, among others.
Southpaw.
Family Man.
Family Man, the list goes on. And Wendy's a TV producer of General Hospital and The Bay. So we'd like to welcome them.
And Port Charles.
And Port Charles.
And a 7-time
And
Emmy winner.
Laguna.
Oh my God,
And-
it just goes on and on.
And Margaret's TV movie of the week, which was, really amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, that was amazing.
So you guys have been together for 54 years.
Yes,
Married, 56 years.
And they said it wouldn't last.
they did.
They did. They said it.
And it's
How did it last?
nothing.
My
by the
parents
way,
said it wouldn't
nothing.
last.
Nothing is written in stone yet. I mean,
Yeah.
How did it last? What's your
Go
secret?
ahead, Alan.
hey, I was blessed. Let's start with that.
You married over your head.
That's why I let him speak first.
I did. I married into my greatest need, a woman that would save me from myself.
Oh.
So
That's
that's
really good.
But if you really want the truth, I was 16 years old in Buffalo, and my parents were screaming at each other, and I said, "What the fuck is this about?" And a voice in my head said, "Don't worry. You will meet a beautiful Jewish girl from New York, and she will save your life." That's the truth.
Wow.
So many years later, I was fortunate, and I met that lady.
Wow.
Blind date.
Really?
Blind date.
Who set that up?
Tony Howard was a major casting person, head
Oh,
of talent
yeah,
at
Totally.
ICM,
Yeah.
was my best friend, and set us up on a blind date.
And were you nervous about it? Did you think, another one?
I hadn't, it's a long story.
It's a longer story.
I had not dated a lot.
Well, yeah, she's only, maybe 18.
No, but I had an 8-month-old child,
9 months.
a 9-month-old child, and so I wasn't married, and I wasn't dating, and I was back living at home, and
Wow.
he said to Tony, it's one date, who cares? And that was it.
And there you go. The rest is
That was
history.
it.
Wow.
Now,
That's,
over-
that's
Yeah, we liked
amazing.
it. No, we liked
Yeah.
each other right
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
We did.
Oh, we can tell.
And so over the years, has the secret been that you both do the same thing but not together?
Over the years, the secret is that we don't try to control each other too much. The secret over the years is we survived massive downturns and we're able to come back. And I think this is the best time of the best, But we've been blessed with 2 amazing sons, 4 amazing grandchildren, ranging in age from 26 to 11.
Wow.
Right.
And so life has been kind.
Wow.
We have different interests, and so we don't have issues with that.
Opposites attract.
I guess.
And I mean-
it was never an issue that he liked sports or that I wanted to be in the garden. It wasn't like you have to be by my side or I have to be by your side. It was like, go do your thing, and I get to do mine.
Who got into the business first?
I did.
You were in the
I
business
did,
first.
but she wasn't in the business, but her family, the Fields family, her Uncle Shep and her Uncle Freddie were giant, and Shep was a giant band leader in the 30s and the 40s, in the heyday of bands. And then Freddie Fields was the biggest agent, and an amazing person, and a great mentor and a great teacher.
Wow.
So my family, my mother died when I was 20 months old, and then my father got remarried when I was almost 8 to a woman from Buffalo whose father was in the nightclub business, big, giant 1,100 seat nightclubs. And he also had an amusement park in the suburbs, and I loved that business. I kind of loved the carny business. I used to run the fascination game. I used to do the game where, you spin the thing and you give out dolls and put down the nickels, nickel for me, nickel for him, you know what I mean? So that's kind of, because my father married into that world, that became my life. Otherwise, I think I would have gone into the menswear business because that was another love. If I could be somebody else, I would have dreamt about being Ralph Lauren. You know, I like that world
Well,
also.
you got your jacket on.
Well, I also, when I was in the mailroom, I worked at I don't know how long you've been in LA, but there was a great store.
All my life.
Remember Lou Ritter's?
Oh, yeah.
I used to
Oh,
work
yeah.
I worked at Lou
Really?
Ritter on Friday nights and Saturday because you had to make a week what your rent was, and I was making $50 a week at GAC, and then I got $25 in cash from Lou Ritter, so that covered my rent in Brentwood, which was $75 a month.
So how did that lead to producing?
Well, agenting, there's a couple of ways into producing. Having a lot of money, it's always a good way. Being an agent is the best training ground for how the business works. And I went into it very aggressively. Excuse me, there's bugs flying about here. But I realized who I am as a person is I'm kind of a loner, and I liked the purity of agenting. I liked helping people with their careers. I'm not someone that wants to be locked in like that. I have a wife, but my projects.
He's locked in with.
But our projects are my projects, or my projects are my clients. But I talk to them when I want, and they talk to me when I want them to. I don't have a problem. I'm just not that person. Secondly, I came to realize that my dream was I wanted to start a studio. That as a child, I grew up. My grandfather was in the dry goods business, and he was big in the basement in Rochester. And then there was the fourth floor, you know, more quality things. So I think the movie business is a department store. And I loved the basement. And there was a company called AIP that made all these great, you know, the biker movies and all that. And that was a world that I wanted to start a studio. And it's too long a story. I wanted to be a part of starting a studio. And I came close a couple of times. That dream is not dead. But in producing, and I'm not as great. Wendy's I think a better physical producer than I am. She's better with script. I'm more like, you know, I like to go out and bring things in and create opportunities. I love basketball. I like playing a backcourt guard. I like passing off and giving people the shot, but I like to be an important part of it. So our singular mantra that we live by every day is don't sell what you wouldn't buy. So I think neither of us, we have faith in ourselves, and we don't fear it because we're evaluating continuously what it is we're selling. And you know, we don't sell things that we wouldn't buy. We live by that. So
It's beautiful.
So
And then how did you get into producing?
there you go.
Alan came home one day and said, I love this business. I'm going to get to the top of it. I'll achieve what I want to achieve, and I will become them. And I don't like them. And I need to raise my children. I need to grow up, and you need to go to work. And he said, and you can do it. And I went to work as a secretary at ABC, and about 2 weeks after that, I came home, and he stayed home with the kids before Mr. Mom, and took care of them, and I had to give up the organic food because they were going out for tacos, and things changed very quickly. But about 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after I started at ABC, I came home and I said, you know, I think I can do this, what they're all doing, but I didn't finish college because I had a baby, and I made that choice not to finish. And they all have their MBAs, and I don't know. And he said, you can do it. He said, you can do everything that they can do. You are as smart as them. He said, and you have a great advantage. I said, what's that? He said, you have no fear. I said, you're right, what's to fear? He said, you have no fear. He said, now, you have to know your position. You have to know, you know, what your job is. You have to know that they're going to buzz you for coffee, and don't get too pissed off, and, you know, bring them projects, and then you're not going to get credit for it. But in 10 years, you will achieve a place in this business that you will feel a sense of success. And 10 years later, I produced a movie called Who Will Love My Children, starring Anne Margaret and Frederick Forrest, and
Oh, yeah.
was nominated for an
Oh,
Emmy.
yeah.
And he was
That's a
right.
great,
And he
great
was
movie.
always supportive,
Yeah.
always supportive of me working.
I mean, the truth there is I recognized in her in a lot of ways, someone who was stronger than me and smarter than me, and it never threatened me.
Yeah.
I respected it.
Right.
I thought
Yeah.
that she was extremely talented, and I didn't mean to take it off of her, but she's also an amazing amount of fun. She's always, will 99% of the time, do whatever you want to do. I mean, which makes it easy.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
But I'm sorry
But
to interrupt.
I know a lot of women that didn't have that kind of encouragement. You
Right,
know, a woman
right.
friend of mine wanted to write, and her husband, you can't be a writer. And there was, I think that goes
Are
back.
they still married, by the way?
No, they're
Yeah,
not.
of course they
But
are.
it goes
There you go.
back to the marriage of separate space and
right.
not really competitive with
Right.
each other and supporting each other. When he was going through his time of I don't want to work, I need to get my act together, and he did, and raised his boys, our boys. It wasn't a question because I had 4 years with the kids that I didn't have to work. So it was never an issue of space or time or anything. We just
I'd come from a
That's
world.
amazing.
I'd come
was
from
good.
a world of child abuse, and I knew that unless I beat that and raised my sons without abuse, that no matter what I did in the business,
Wow.
it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do both. I needed myself to be with myself, but I also needed to raise my sons.
and he did a great job.
And
he-
so that
he-
was almost as strong as "Don't sell what you wouldn't buy."
Yeah.
No, but he did a great job, and also I come from a really solid family where there was never a day I didn't feel loved. So I had the opposite upbringing, and he always embraced
Yeah.
that and allowed me to create that within the family. So it was somehow it just kind of we just kind of whoa.
And in practical terms, she supported us
Great.
financially.
You know,
And
this is
she
this-
was the major breadwinner, so she has to be understood and respected,
Right.
and be thanked for that. And
Well,
she
and
was.
we understand now why you've been married so long, because it's.
I needed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed the money.
Now we know why you've been married so long. So then, when we do the next one, we'd like to talk about.
I'm
navigating
sorry,
the
I'm sorry.
business
No, it's
and,
great.
And how things change as you change and as you get older. So we'd like to cover that next time
Okay.
if you'd like.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Thank you so much for being here for part 1. And will you come back for part 2?
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to hear more podcasts or read great articles, get involved with the MANOPOD community for men over 50 on manopause.com.
And don't forget, live life, live young.